Ryan's Thoughts on Cars, welcome back. Being 50 years old in 2025. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Just finished work. I have to go. I'm starting a side business. 3 part-time jobs aren't cutting it. Speaking of which, I got to phone one of my employers and say, hey, I didn't get a paycheck. Which kind of sucks because it's the fun one. I meant to make that phone call today, but I did phone calls for other things. So what is this video about? Nothing in particular, I guess. I made a video about, I talked a little bit about Alberta separation. I live in Alberta, and Canada is basically in the toilet, and the new government is basically going to run it further into the toilet. So, I don't know what to say to that, other than I actually went to the website to sign the petition for separation, to force a referendum or whatever. To vote for a referendum, I think, is what that petition was about. And I'm okay with that. Things under this liberal government have gotten worse. I gotta go that way, actually. We really haven't recovered since the 2008 crash. Whatever crash they called that. I don't think the rest of the world had. Alberta never really recovered. We're talking, not just wage stagnation. I've been talking with my brother-in-law about this. I've been talking with people about this in the trades and stuff, where wages have not just stagnated in the oil field and in the construction sectors. They've actually rolled back to pre-2000 or around 2000 prices, right? My brother-in-law is working at the same wages he was working at in right around 2000, and he does snubbing. He's a snubber, and he's like, the stuff that they were asking me to do, going to Dubai is the same price as it is now back then, and he had gone a few times to go work in Dubai. He's got a few places like that, and even here, like, the shop rates are not even, they're the same, but now, like, when they ask him to go out, like, they're calling him to go work and things like that, and people want him to go work, but he's like, I can't do it. I can't afford to go, for what they're paying. Like, I can't, and that's saying something, because the guy was making, like, $250,000 a year. And he's still making $250,000 a year, or less. Well, it's a lot less now, because he's not taking those jobs. He's taking jobs that are closer to home, because the remote jobs don't pay. Oh, gravel road. So, and construction-wise, it's never been as busy. It never really picked up ever again. So how the economy works in Alberta is the boom and bust cycle. Okay, things go really good for a long time, usually about 8 to 10 years, something like that. It ramps up slowly, and then everybody's working. Money is flowing out of your pockets. It's buckets and buckets of money happen, and then there's the bust, and everybody's destitute. Right there, it goes with the prices of oil, basically, kind of thing, or the price of gas, natural gas, and we've never had a boom since 2008. It's never recovered. what'll happen, because I work construction, right? So what'll usually happen is my brother-in-law gets really busy and he starts talking, man, it's crazy money out there. It's starting to be crazy money again, right? And then, where is this place? I think it's over there. Then what happens is we start getting calls as construction workers, right? And you start seeing ads everywhere and people begging for help and willing to pay top dollar for it too, and beyond top dollar, never mind. But now that's only for a few people. Very, very few people are getting the top dollar just to be, so these companies can keep these guys around. But when it's not like there's a mass amount of people getting top dollar anymore, right? I'm getting the same wages I got in like the mid 2000s, or what people are asking me to work for, or worse, around 2000, which is, sad and scary. And if we are and we are the money makers, right? Oil field, and like I said, construction, working for the oil field, like we were big money. We were making more money than doctors. And when we stop making that kind of money, nobody else is making money, right? When we make that kind of money, everybody else is making that kind of money. Well, not that kind of money, but everybody else is making money, right? There's lots of work. There's lots of, wages are good. Employers are willing to pay because it's busy and people are spending money, kind of thing, right? But that's never happened again. Then there was the pandemic thing, right? Which just increased prices on everything, and companies tried to, justified it by saying, well, supply chain, blah, this, and that, but they never rolled back any of their prices, right? Even though, so now we're stuck where wages are stuck back in the 2000s and prices are in the 21st century in 2025, which are, double or triple what they used to be, at those wages. So, and Alberta is Canada's money maker, right? When Alberta does well, when Alberta's making money, Canada prospers as a country, and they don't want that. That's what this government doesn't want, is Alberta making money for some reason. I don't know what it is, but because it's all natural resources, right? We're on par with like Saudi Arabia. And then you got Saskatchewan with their mining, plutonium and potash or whatever, and BC with, I don't know what BC has, to be honest with you, lumber. Lumber and electricity. Mining. BC has mines. They got like diamond mines and stuff, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like the biggest project that's been going on in this country has been a stupid dam in BC, where usually it's here in Alberta, building upgraders, building mines, building, oil sand stuff. It's, usually it's crazy, once every 2 times over 20 years, easily, right? And it's been 20 years and there hasn't been one. There hasn't been one project that has employed thousands of people. And people are angry about it too, right? Yeah. I have to, so yeah, I had a tough month money-wise. Like it was super tight. Like it shouldn't be this tight, but it is. I'm working three jobs, 5 employers, and I actually got to start a side business to make extra cash. So I'm coming here to this timber mart to, price some things out, because I'm out of touch with pricing. I worked for the federal government for too long and we didn't have to pay for anything. So, I gotta price some materials out to get back in the zone, because I gotta write some quotes up. Because the place that I'm working needs work done, and I'm gonna start a business to do the work on the side, and my dad and my daughter help or whatever, and that'll free up cash. Like it's the only way. So that'll be exciting. I'm actually really looking forward to that, really. And actually there's a lady in Barhead that I've been doing some driving for, sort of thing, and she's kind of a hippie chick. But she's really into the herbal and natural, I was going to say remedies, but not really, but natural health, let's just say, right? Like, eating true, real foods, not stuff out of packages or that has orange color number 72 and, artificial flavor and things like that, or natural flavor. That's another good one. I love that marketing lie. That's one of the best lies ever. But yeah, and she's, and I'm a gardener. I really like gardening, so, she asked me if I'd grow some stuff for her, and I was like, yeah, I could look after some stuff for you. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll just buy a shed or build a shed and, start growing like wheatgrass and stuff, whatever you need, because she's starting this wheatgrass juice thing with one of the gyms in town. or with starting up a cooperative with some people that, they'll all work on it and do it for everybody else, sort of thing, and they'll just make the stuff. But asking if I wanted in on it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll grow some I'll grow some stuff for you. But she's got a garage there, and she was like, I'll do it in my garage. I was thinking more like that. I wasn't thinking, you build a shed and do all of that. And I'm like, oh, hey, lady, you're gonna do it? Go big, go home. Go big or go home. But that's interesting, and I think this YouTube channel really helped me get back onto that, I guess, frame of mind. Doing YouTube has really gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of entrepreneurship again, that kind of thing. Captain of my ship, that poem sort of deal. Maybe I'll make that the title of this video. Captain of your ship, right? But I always heard that. People always quoted that first few lines of a poem in every investment and sales seminar I've ever been to in my life. Captain of your own ship. Yeah, and that's what's on the horizon here. So I got to get these prices, then I'll do up a quote. We'll see how much money we can gather off of these first little bits of jobs, because it's not just this place I'm working for, but we are constantly calling contractors, and a lot of them can't come in and do the work. And I'm like, hey, can I do it? If I start a business and stuff on the side, like, I'll come in, I'll do this, because I'm only working 40 hours over 2 weeks for this place, and I get days where I do nothing. Between my other jobs and stuff, there are days, like, sometimes, like, I have 2-3 days in a week where I'm like, I'm not doing anything, and I got weekends free, sort of thing. And it would just be good to have my dad putter away, because he's retired, just putter away painting something or installing some flooring or whatever. And yeah, it would be good. It would be really good. Nice shot in the arm. All right, thanks for tuning in and watching. I hope your day's going great, and leave something in the comments. Are you an entrepreneur? How many jobs are you working? Is it cutting the mustard for you? Is it cutting the mustard? I think that. Is everybody in a bind, Because I remember even just a regular Joe job, you would still have enough to pay for things. And now, like, I'm working a regular Joe job. I'm out of my trade. I'm working in my trade, but my regular Joe job ain't cutting it. It's not paying bills. Anywho, see you on the next one.